Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. We've got a reading today on direction. These ones are quite popular, so I try and slip them in whenever I can. Don't think there's much of an introduction needed. Just make sure that we're centered. Maybe I'll give you guys a little cleanse today. Get the tuning fork out without breaking it. Feel the vibes. Okay, as always, pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Feel free to pause the video and we'll get stuck into pile number 1s. Okay, direction. Sorry, my stomach was going off there. Hopefully you're not hungry, pile number 1s. That's when you go, motherfucker. I was just thinking about getting myself a snack. I had a word or a phrase that came in whilst drawing this. Let me get my thicker pen. I'll probably say that this is more touching on that feminine energy. But as I always say, these readings aren't gender specific. One of the phrases that just came through was, is she floating or flying? Is she floating or flying? The Spirit's just giving me some confirmation on that, so I think that's your main point here. I do want to add some motion to this though, or maybe not even motion, but some just add to the story. Now, funnily enough, it's almost starting to look a little bit like one of those, those vacuums when people go in it and they're floating or flying. It's not really that energy. This reminds me more of portal type energy. But pile number 1s, are you floating or flying? I think one of the main things to consider here is, I think Spirit wants you to kind of touch in with self. Are you floating or flying? Like touching with self. It might be a reminder to, sometimes in life when we're forcing something too hard, it's like Spirit wants you to master the technique of, when a bird flies and then it glides. So it's almost like, are you floating or gliding would be more accurate to the actual vibration of this reading. We'll leave it as floating or flying, it doesn't matter, but you know when you see a bird fly and it's not constantly flapping, there's a certain space of that flight where it saves the energy and kind of glides. And Spirit is saying, maybe be aware more within yourself on when you're kind of flapping and gliding. So we've got a little bit of confirmation there as well from a horn outside, you know? Like, I think that's really your reading here. So I know it's on direction, and we usually talk about something quite tangible in these direction readings, but this is more on like your approach to that direction. I think to summarize it as well, we can clearly say that there is some form of portal here, so some form of new chapter coming in. This is, just to play on the metaphor of it, this is below. So think about that as well. You might be going into a place of hermit mode. You may be going into a place, and don't get scared by that. By no means is it a negative reading, definitely a good reading here. But you might, sometimes in life you have to, play in the dirt for a little while to, or play it or dance in the rain, I should say, to appreciate the sunshine. So there's maybe something here with you going into like a portal. I also just got the vision of, I can't remember what the goddess is called, but I got a vision of, the partner of Hades. I got a vision of that kind of like, she comes up in spring and then goes to Hades in winter, I think. Could be Aphrodite, she pops up in these readings all the time, but yeah, it's that type of energy. And just realize that kind of, just as a story, we're not even having to say that that's a true energy. If you don't believe in energies, for example, the moral of that story is that where she goes, she's happy, So when she's in the underworld, she's happy with her partner. And then when she's above the underworld, I think she's with her mother, and she's happy there too. But both are a positive experience. So, pile number 1, that's your reading. I hope you got something from it. If you did, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Alright, pile number 2's got for y'all. Okay, pile number twos. Not sure what the 3 stars are about, but we'll see how it goes. Could be just touching on 3 energy, numerology. What does that 3 vibration mean to you? So this person, this energy here, direction, seems to be like diving into something. The posture is quite funny here. It reminds me a little bit of like the Incredibles movie. Like, very big on the chest, you know, like I know kind of someone might argue my drawings are always like that, but like for some reason this is reminding me more of like the Incredibles figure, Mr. Incredible, I think the name is. So you could be doing something incredible, pile number twos. Also reminds me a little bit of, these stars are starting to remind me a little bit of, like the video games where you're collecting things like coins, or I can't really think, or hoops if it's Sonic. It's like collecting these stars. When I said that out loud, collecting these stars, it kind of reminded me of like a manager. Someone who manages musicians, like collecting stars. Or even helping stars, like helping stars become stars. I'm kind of getting also like dad energy, and I use the word dad and not father. Because it's very much the human dad. We're not so much talking about like our heavenly father. Amen. I don't know, for some of you maybe that resonates more, but it's actually kind of dad energy. So I'm not sure if you're embracing that, pile number twos. This is maybe how you're, like, if you're a feminine watching this. We maybe even just be talking about characteristics of your partner or your dad. Maybe that's important for you right now to hear. If you're not really relating to the masculine energy at the moment. So this character seems to be diving into collecting these stars, if you like. Although I'm using superhero analogies like Mr. Incredible, we're talking about someone almost like, this isn't, what I'm trying to say here is, this isn't the energy of Superman. This is the energy of, in a weird way, it's almost got like quite Mercury energy. So if this is you or someone else, we're talking almost like, I believe that's Virgo and Gemini energy. This is almost like the superhero, like Flash a little bit, like Flash, but kind of almost like a delivery person. It's like the Mercury energy. But instead of them sending messages, well, they actually, yeah, it is literally like them sending messages, but it's like they're sending messages specifically to these stars. So imagine if these stars were people. It's like this dad messenger is in a rush, not necessarily to be Superman and kill the villain, or at least capture the villain. He's in a rush because he's sending the message to these stars. He's collecting these stars. He's bringing these stars together. He'd be the person who says to each one of these stars meet at the top of this hill on Tuesday at 3 p.m. and brings everyone together. Do you understand? That's why this energy is in a rush. So let's see how that resonates with you. This character isn't in a rush for career, for romance, for money, for friendship. This dad, if you like, is on a mission to send a message to these stars. And in a way, I feel like it's collecting these stars, it's bringing them together. So pile number 2 is quite a specific message there. It probably won't resonate with all of you, but the message is, it is what it is. I think it was accurate to the people who needed to hear it, because I feel like from Spirit's giving me the go-ahead, like, done a good job there. So pile number 2 is I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, pile number 3s. Hope you're doing well, pile 3s. Everyone's kind of floating today, or flying. While I'm just filling this in, read at the top of the page. So you might be in a super high vibration. Pile number 3s, I hope you are. I repeat, I'm sorry if the mic picks up on my every little breath and mouth movement. I haven't quite figured out my setup yet. So the mic is like pretty much in my mouth. Not purposely. So tune me out and just focus on the reading if it gets to you. Okay, it's lovely. What do you see? What do you feel? Pile number 3s. do you see? What do you feel? This is a cool one. I like this one. I think it's like it's not far from being turning architectural. That's probably why I like it. Could turn this into a building real quick. Part number 3 is I feel like your direction is actually built upon stepping stones. You're embracing, could say that Virgo energy, but also Capricorn type energy. Probably a little sprinkle of Taurus. I've just realised I've named all the earth signs. That's not coincidence. The kind of energies that were coming through there were just earthy, which I didn't really realise that it was subconsciously done. There's planning here though. There's structure. It's Saturn. There's a Saturnian energy here. This is your direction. Is if this is you going to another country, this is you having planned that very well. You know when your flight is, you know when your crossover is, you know when your arrival and departure, you know your hotel, how far it is, you know how long you're staying, you know what you're going to do if your flight is delayed. This is someone who's got order in their life. And if you don't, this is where you're heading, or this is what you're listening to and going, damn, I need that in my life. Either way, we're touching on the vibration here. If you stepped into it, or if it's a chink in your armor where you're thinking, yeah, this is my power because I need this in my life. So part number 3 is what's interesting about this also is that I can't help but relate these kind of to like I call them like your energy points or your energy nodes, but they're also known as like chakras. It's almost like if you need help in understanding how to structure your life, it might be worth unpicking each of your chakras and energy points. Now you might wonder, Zed, what do you mean by that? How the hell is my chakras going to tell me what direction to go? Well, by feeling it. So if you start at your feet, like it's maybe even asking yourself from your feet, what does this part of my body need or want? Dare I say desire, but there might be some clues there. Then asking the next part of your body, like that's, if you ask me, that's quite clearly like linked to your intimate areas. Like, what does this need? What does this want? What does this desire? And then go to your stomach or your womb area. What does this want? What does this need? What does this desire? Then to your heart chakra, and to your throat and your third eye, your crown, etc. It might sound bizarre, but hopefully when you've gone through all of those areas, you're going to start thinking like, you might have stopped at your intimate area, for example. I know the feet is maybe a bit harder, but like, for example, when I done that myself, just through speaking with you, I was like, grounding. That's what my feet is saying that it wants. Like, it wants to feel the earth, or it wants to feel the coast. It wants to feel my feet. I love my feet being on a beach with the water. I love that. I don't even like doing it for a long time, but I do love like just my feet going into the sea. Probably making some of you raise your eyebrow, or you might just be like, damn, I'm the same. I feel this dude. But yeah, like I don't even have to do it for a long time. But just, just being on the beach and then dipping my feet in the water as the tide comes in, like god damn, that is revitalizing for me. And then the intimate areas, you might start even just thinking about intimacy. What do you actually want? You might start honing in, like, who is that partner that I want to lay with? You might already have that partner, but like, okay, so what do you want from them? What do you need from them? Even if it is on like a primal sexual level, what is it that you desire? Be specific with that. Your womb area, like if you're feminine watching this, do you desire children? Do you desire how many? If you're a geezer watching this, you might associate that energy more with creativity, or how, like, for me actually, when I think of the womb, a lot of people associate the root with home. I associate the womb a lot with home instead of the root. Now, I'm not sure if that is to do with like when you're a baby and you're in the womb, that kind of feels like a home. I don't care how tough you are watching this, like I think everyone can relate to that, male and female. Like there's something about the womb energy which is homely too, right? So like when we're all in bed, there's no one who can deny that there's something nice about when that blanket is that right heaviness on you, and the temperature's right, and you get snuggled up in that bed. It's a wrap. That's a wrap. It's the womb energy right there. That's the womb energy. That is the womb energy. So yeah, like do you see how I'm picking this? I'm not gonna go through all of these energy points or chakras, pile number 3s, because I think you're getting it. And what I'm trying to say here is, once you've done that, believe it or not, I believe you're gonna have some stepping stones. You're gonna have this plan. You're gonna understand yourself better, and you're gonna have almost this to-do list of what you need, what you require, and you've listened to yourself. So this is a beautiful challenge. There's occasions where I wish that this pile was for everyone to see. Maybe as the page progresses, I could make it. As the brand progresses, this would definitely be something that I would tell my assistant to just chop this one up and make it just a video for everyone to see, because I think everyone can get value from this. And before I started the reading, I knew it was going to be somewhat special, because I just felt it in me. But pile number 3 is like, I hope you were able to take away some value from this. You should end up with something which is like almost you. It's like the anatomy of you. And in that, you're going to now have that structure to where you're going. And believe it or not, at least for me, I'm not sure if this is more swayed for the masculine energy, because one thing that I do wonder, or not wonder, but reflect on, is, even sometimes when I'm giving advice to people, like, I've kind of given up on advice, to be honest. Not in a bad way, like, I feel like I've been through enough in life to give good advice. But I've just come to really realize perspective is everything. And, some of the things that I think come from, a masculine perspective. It doesn't always resonate with the feminine. And with that, it's kind of trained me well in communicating this idea well with the feminine, so the feminine can at least grasp what I'm trying to say. But then when you unravel that even more, you realize that, okay, so you're given this masculine perspective, and you've worked on how to communicate that to the feminine, but then that advice is still from the masculine perspective. It kind of comes down to the point of, even it's like, even when you're like raising a child, not like I've got a child, but I can really understand this perspective more now, that like there just really is some duties which the father is better at, and there's some duties which the mother is better at, and that's just the way it is. I've come to kind of accept that more. But I kind of say all of that, pile number 3, is just to leave you on where I was going, is that in my life, my mental health is so much better when I have structure. So I say that, and that's why I kind of said all that stuff before, is because I might be speaking to someone on the other side of this, and that doesn't mean anything to them. Like, their mental health could be worse when they've got structure in their life. But I just found, for me, like, why this was useful for me too. I've got enough lists and to-do lists of what I need to do now anyway. But why I kind of sparked up through this reading is because that was another opportunity for me to refine my list, and for me that does wonders for my mental health. My mental health is the worst if I have a sense of not knowing what the fuck's going on. But like I said, I just know that there's someone listening to this who's probably the opposite to that. That makes them feel free, or, as I always say in the spiritual community, like, that's the letting go, that's the surrender. Like, for me, I only need a little bit of that surrender in my life, I don't need to be day to day in the space of surrender. That just don't work for me. So part number 3 is, I hope I gave you some value in this reading. I think this one was a hit, goddammit. But like I said, I hope you was able to get as much value from it as I was. As always, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.